we started our African safari, our visit to Victoria Falls. They are the largest falls in the world going by the amount of water falling. They are more than a mile wide, that's 1.7 kilometers wide, 100 meters high. In the local language, it's known as the smoke that thunders, because the thundering noise is so loud that you can hear it from 5 kilometers away. And the mist that rises from there rises so high that it can be seen from 50 kilometers away. That's why the smoke that thunders. Over millennia, this waterfall has kept changing its position, and every time it changes its position, it leaves behind what is known as a gorge. So the tailwater of this waterfall, that is the water after the waterfall, takes a series of U-turns, and it's very clearly visible in the photographs. Because of plenty of sunshine and mist, there's a perpetual rainbows of all sizes and distances here. Sometimes two, sometimes a fully circular rainbow, and some of these pictures look as if they are photoshopped, but they are not. Me and Shubhada took rides in microlight planes, and that's a wonderful way to have a look at these waterfalls from the air. They fly about 1000 to 1500 feet above it, and you are close enough, at the same time far enough from the waterfall. The microlights are pretty much like scooters with wings, and you are completely exposed, and you do feel a little unsafe. They are not unsafe, because even if the engine fails, you can glide down to safety easily, but because you are exposed and next to this throbbing propeller, you always feel a little worried. But it's a great way to enjoy the waterfall. Me and Shubhada decided to experience the thrill of jumping off a cliff together. Here we are arriving at the place where we are going to jump over the cliff. We are looking like lambs being led to slaughter, where at least I am. And now he is briefing me with what is likely to happen next. The total height is about 100 meters, out of which the free fall that takes place is about 50 meters. That is equivalent to jumping off the terrace of a building that is 15-story high, and you will fall freely for those 15 meters. Then the rope will arrest your fall, and because at that moment the rope is not vertical, it's like at the end of one pendulum, at one end of it, then you start swinging over the trees below. It should be a very long and enjoyable swing, if we are in our senses to enjoy it. And once we stop swinging, they will lower us down to the bottom of the valley, where one of their assistants will be waiting. He will take off all these safety gear, and then we'll walk back. Now the idea is to jump together, saath jiyenge saath marenge kind of stuff. It's scary, believe me. I'm asking him, have you checked, double checked, triple checked? Yes, of course, he says. Yeah, we'll find it out soon enough. And knees are shaking, and when you know you're on camera, you have to smile, as you can see. Then you slowly start stepping backwards until you fall back into space. Let's watch. One, two. At this point of the swing, when I looked up, I saw vultures circling overhead, and that to me seemed a bit daunting, because if maybe they have lost a few guys there, why else would vultures be around? Anyway, we were not one of them. And in the video, he's turned back the video to show us coming back, but the way back actually was far more tiring than that. Here he has only turned the video back to take us back onto the cliff edge. It wasn't as easy as that. It was a long 30-minute climb back from the bottom of the valley to the top. After this crazy idea of the jump, next day we rappelled down the same cliff. You go reach the end of the cliff and you wonder, am I crazy? Why am I back here? But it's a part of the bucket list, so you have to do it. Rappelling is coming down by using a rope, but you are held up by friction. You don't have to actually have much strength in your hands. You just have to feel comfortable. When you go over the cliff, you say, I must be crazy. But as you start sliding down, you can't resist temptation of looking behind, and that is bad. And while you are contemplating your own death, he shouts from top, "Sir, smile for the camera." Are you crazy? Anyway, you have to smile. And then you see your photos and you realize that your face can't be seen anyway. Samburu National Park is witness to two extraordinary incidences. The first is this naturalist couple, George and Joy Adamson. They brought up a lioness known as Elsa, and they trained her so fantastically that she actually was able to go back into the wild, survive, join another pride, and she had her own cubs and lived a normal life. This was considered truly impossible to do, but they achieved that. The second one is that a lioness adopted an oryx calf, which is totally unheard of or unseen. And the surprising part is that she did it over and over again, at least twice, as we know. Some say she did it three times. This bull elephant has paid us a visit. He's at our doorstep, so to say. Lone bull elephants are not to be trusted. They are quite often irritable. They have been knocked out from their herd and they don't like it. They are social animals, and when they are alone, they are irritable. We are very close to our camp, is very, very close here. And the only thing that's standing between him and us is this measly little fence. I'm sure he can break through any moment. He's been here for almost 1 hour now, and very slowly he's advancing. I hope sooner or later he stops. Elephant herds keep moving from place to place, eating their way. Well, they have to, because if they were to stay in one place, they would finish off the vegetation around, each one needing between 150 to 200 kilos of food every day. They have to move, otherwise vegetation won't last. And they're always peaceful most of the time. However, as we said before, a lone bull can be irritable. As you can see, this bull does not want these giraffes around him, and he's going out of his way to slowly push them out. These leaves are mine, this grass is mine. Get out. Well, our driver takes the cue and we also get out from there. Here is an elephant in must. You can also see this secretion from the gland in his head. He's all ready for action, but there is no herd in sight. But I'm sure he will find one. At the moment, it's a classic case of all dressed up for the evening and nowhere to go. Here is a leopard high up in the branches, resting with his kill below him. These are very efficient hunters, but shy and elusive. He's quite far from us and he has not even bothered to give us one little look. We've spent a good amount of time here, but he loves his sleep, I tell you. This graceful, quiet, lanky chap is the ultimate Complan boy of the jungle. But it has its downside too. Just imagine if you had to stand like this every time you wanted to drink a glass of water. Cheetahs are the fastest land mammals on earth, running at upward of 100 kilometers an hour. And they take such tremendous amount of energy for this that they can hold that speed for only about 20 seconds or so. They have to be sleek, which means their prey also is very small in size. This cheetah has just killed a wildebeest calf and he's eating as fast as he can. There's a reason for it. There are hyenas around. And historically, hyenas have always pushed cheetahs off their kill, rightful kill, and stolen it. The reason is hyenas' jaws are much stronger than a cheetah's and they can easily push the cheetah off. And that's what makes him hurry and he's looking nervous. But what is surprising me is, in spite of the fact that there are two hyenas, how come they haven't yet come to claim this wildebeest calf? Is it possible that they are full? If they were, they wouldn't be here. So the only thing I can say is maybe this is one lucky cheetah. He's getting to eat as long as he is. We are likely to see some action. I'm sure we'll see some action. There he is, eating like there's no tomorrow. His mother didn't tell him to chew 32 times before swallowing. Oops. Oh. I said it too soon. He's not so lucky after all. He doesn't even bother to wait and fight because he can't afford getting injured. The cheetah can't even slink away in peace because he's being bothered by the jackal. And the only reason can be that the jackal has got some pups somewhere around there and he's worried that the cat might go for the pups. So he's trying to divert his attention and move him away. We always refer to Jungle Raj as if it is some sort of a lawless state. It might look cruel, but it is not. Life on earth prospered wonderfully under this very Jungle Raj for more than 1 billion years. That's 1,000 crore years. Then we came along, we applied our own rules, and within 250 years, look what we have done. We are already on the brink. We talk of intelligent life in space, but we don't have intelligence right here, at least not amongst humans. And this blood and gore, how can we forget those aerial, graceful actors who are dressed perpetually as if they are in a fancy dress competition? The birds of Africa. The African fish eagle, if he manages to catch a fish which is too heavy for him to carry, he is even capable of dropping into the water and paddling to shore with the fish, but he won't let go. The eastern pale chanting goshawk with a melodious call, as the name suggests. Egyptian geese, who have been known to attack drones in case they entered their territory, mistaking them for a dangerous intruder. The large cormorant, or the great cormorant as it is also known, are expert fishermen, and they were hunted almost to extinction by other fishermen because they were considered competition for fish. The wonderfully colorful lilac breasted roller. It is the unofficial national bird of Kenya. Why unofficial? Don't ask me. No idea. The night heron, who stands still at the water's edge mainly to ambush fish, frogs, and insects only at night. The purple herons, which look very funny while flying because their long legs and even longer toes stick out well beyond their tails. The yellow-billed stork. When this stork is a chick, he eats so voraciously that he becomes 10 times his own size within 10 days. Yeah, I know a few humans who can eat like that. When you see a lioness walking purposefully, you know something is afoot. She has seen something of interest, and if you follow her now, you'll be able to get some action. Sure enough, we can see her target, these two deer. They really have no idea that they are being shadowed, and slowly the lionesses will creep up as they are, and the deer are busy grazing, and we are in luck here. When lionesses are stalking, if they suspect that their prey is looking in their direction, they remain absolutely still, and with their golden color they mix up so nicely with the golden color of the grass that they become absolutely invisible. They move forward very, very slowly, and without looking down, they know where they are putting their foot so that it must not land on any dried leaf which can make noise. Not only that, the rear foot is kept exactly in the place where the front foot had fallen, so they are sure that no noise is made and no movement, and the progress is foot by foot. Time does not matter to them. The deer are looking in this direction, but they are not sure if there is any danger here or not. Off and on you can hear an alarm call, but they are not taking off. They are still standing their ground until they are sure. This will be a standoff for a while. I only hope the people around will not make any noise and destroy the sanctity of the moment. Both the predator and prey are completely ignoring our cars. They are absorbed completely in each other. For them, every day is a life and death struggle, something we cannot even imagine. The lionesses seem to be relaxing. I think they are giving up the chase, but not chase, the stalk. But I am not very sure. A deer who is aware of the lioness's presence is almost impossible to catch. They're just too fast. The deer came to know about their presence and ran away. So that's the end of the stalk. Sorry ladies, I hope we didn't spoil your stalk. So off they go looking for another restaurant. This lioness and cub are at the extreme range of my camera. With difficulty, she is leading him through this muck. Some sort of training is going on. And there's another cub sitting behind, watching the whole show. You can see a number of insects flying around. Finally, she's there. Hurry. कहाँ गया था तू? मैं अकेला रह गया, मालूम है ना, कीचड़ में मत जा। ठीक है, काट के भेज देता हूँ आगे तुझे। Wow, barely a mile away from where we saw that lioness with her two cubs is another site. We have not one but 5 fully grown lions here, lying in the shade, stomachs bloated. The way they breathe and their heartbeats go, the whole body keeps shaking all the time. Their heart rate is faster than ours, and you can see that they are all full and sleepy. 20 hours a day they are sleeping. It's the remaining 4 that the rest of the world has to worry about. These 5 lions, they seem to be about 3 years old, maybe a little older, which has 2 possibilities. Either they own this pride to which that lion has belonged, or flies. These carnivores are bothered about by flies 24/7 from birth to death. It is the herbivore's revenge, so to say. So there are 2 possibilities. Either they own this pride, or they are children of this pride and about to be evicted because they are old enough out into the big bad world to hunt for themselves, either get hold of another pride if they can, or live like bachelors. Wild buffaloes and rhinos. Rhinos are endangered, both black and white. Buffaloes are not. Both herbivores, they really don't have anything to fear from each other, but a small playful cough, a playful nudge from that guy is enough to hurt a buffalo. Well, so although by themselves they are fearsome animals, they would like to steer clear of this little fellow, this not so little fellow. The roads here are ruts. It may not be clear in the video, but I am standing at the top of a very steep incline with a horrible surface. Our 4x4s got stuck here. Let's see how our last vehicle will do. The driver has been warned beforehand by radio, so he should be better off than we were. But now, let's see how he does. He stops there for a while. Rev up, horsepower, and traction. Well, the left wheel is slipping. Wonderful. These Toyota Land. This is Malaika, the cheetah mother, with her almost grown up 2 cubs. You'll remember that in Ranthambore there was a legendary tigress by the name Machli. She brought up successfully at least 11 cubs over her lifetime, and that's a phenomenal achievement. She died in August 16, but as we had seen, the life of a single mother in the jungle is very tough. We saw how easily the cheetah lost his prey, and a cheetah mother has to hunt not for one but to feed herself and her cubs, which means she has to hunt over and over and over again successfully. And to do that month after month, generation after generation, is a phenomenal achievement. And this Malaika is a legend here, just as Machli was back home in India. The 2 cubs that you can see are almost grown up. in a few months they will leave, or rather she will leave them. Moment she feels they are old enough and she wants to have the next litter, she will leave them, and then they will have to fend for themselves. Cheetah population in the wild is dwindling, and mothers like Malaika are their heroes who are doing their best for the race to survive. Cheetahs are always under threat from larger carnivores, and the cubs even more so. This face licking and cleaning each other's fur has got many different reasons. One, of course, is it strengthens the bond between animals, the siblings. Second is by cleaning each other up, they don't leave the scent mark as badly as they would if their coat was blood stained. You find lions lazing under the trees without a care in the world, but not so with cheetahs. You find they are alert all the time, because if a lioness were to happen by, she would not hesitate to kill all of them just to get rid of the competition. Malaika is supposed to have only one more year of breeding left, and that is sad, sure. Here is a fish eagle doing what it does best, carrying off unsuspecting fish. Powerful talons, strong wings, and fish cannot escape his sharp eyesight. Was it tough being a fish here? First of all, you have to find your own food, which is smaller fish, and run away from larger fish. And while doing all this, you dare not come close to the surface, because then the fish eagle is likely to pounce down and take you away. It sure is a tough life. This is the group with whom I enjoyed my African safari, guided by Rahul Rao of Foliage. Our group had some accomplished photographers, avid bird watchers, and of course novices like me. Many of the video clips that have found place in this documentary have been taken by my friends in this group. One of them being a tiny little girl, barely old enough to hold an SLR steady. Africa is not just about lions or even about the big five. There is beauty everywhere if you can see it. As the poem goes, what is this world full of care? We have no time to stand and stare. No time to stand beneath the boughs and stare as long as sheep or cows. All good things must come to an end, and so does this. But while leaving, you cannot but help thinking, what are we doing to make sure that this beauty will still be there for our grandchildren to enjoy, and then their grandchildren after that?